Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be going through week 2 on Nutrisystem. Week 2 looks different than week 1, so it's actually going to be the first week of doing something completely different than what you did week 1. So I'm going to be talking with you guys a little bit about that today and why it looks different, how it looks different, and share a little bit about how my week 2 has gone so far. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. All right, so week 2 on Nutrisystem looks a little bit different than week 1. And if you guys haven't caught my video talking about week 1 and how it worked out for me, I'm gonna make sure to link that at the end of this video so you guys can go check that out. And if you're catching this video for the very first time, let me just catch you up. This is my second round doing Nutrisystem. The first round I did last year in April of 2020. It's now June of 2021, and I'm doing Nutrisystem again for the second time. Now, before I go any further, I'm not doing Nutrisystem because I gained back all the weight I lost. No, I didn't. Actually, I've been able to keep off the 22 pounds that I lost the first round, and I did it for 3 months last year. I'm doing Nutrisystem again this summer so that I can try to continue to move forward in my weight loss goals. I have about 25, I think, more pounds. I really need to get that number down packed, but I'm really not just shooting for a specific number. I just want to be around a certain area. That's why I say around 25 pounds. So I'm going to be doing it for June, July, and August. So I plan on doing it for 3 months and vlogging the entire way each week, how I'm doing and some different things I'm learning, and just share with you my experience along the way. So sometimes you're going to learn some stuff about the actual program, and sometimes you're just going to hear how it's working out for me. So my experience is just that. Mine is going to be totally different than yours. So if at any point you're watching these videos week to week, and maybe you're on Nutrisystem and you're just following along and doing it with me, and if you are, I'm so glad you're doing that. That's so smart. I wish I had somebody to have gone through it with when I first did that. And that's why I did these videos to begin with, because I couldn't really find that and I was looking for it. So I thought, well, if I can't find it, I'll create it. And so that is why we're here now. So basically that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I just want to share like my journey and encourage you along the way that, you know, hey, keep going. You don't have to do it perfectly, because I definitely haven't. I'm going to share a little bit about that today here in just a minute, and really just to keep taking baby steps forward toward your healthy goal, whatever that is. If it's a weight loss goal or just to get stronger, or, you know, to cut your cholesterol or whatever that is, there's lots of different healthy goals. I have a lot of healthy goals, not just weight wise, but also mental health goals. And I am a certified mental health coach, and I'm definitely on a wellness journey all around. So I'm learning a whole lot about myself inside as I am shedding some extra pounds on the outside, and things I didn't really know were in there. So let's go ahead and start there. Last year when I did this, if you guys followed along with me, then you already know a little bit about this, but if you're new to following me, you don't know, and I'm just going to share that really quick. I had discovered doing Nutrisystem my first round that I was an emotional eater, and I never called myself or thought I was an emotional eater before. And through doing the program, I discovered that. Since being off Nutrisystem last year and just kind of eating healthy on my own for the last year, I have kind of just fluctuated back and forth between 10 and 12 pounds because of this emotional eating thing that I'm still battling and still going through and still working through and still overcoming, like right now. So this week has been a little bit tough. Like honestly, week 2 is tough because I had been eating around 12 to 1500 calories pretty regularly for the last year. And that's why I haven't really gained back the weight. But the reason I haven't kept off weight when I would lose 12 pounds or 10 pounds or 15 pounds is because I was going back and forth with this emotional eating. I would find like myself overwhelmed with life, or incredibly sad and in despair, or just struggling, just stressed out, and eating everything I felt. And I wasn't realizing it in the moment, but I would stop midway and go, okay, my goodness, why am I even eating this right now? And I'm eating it at 12 o'clock at night. So not only was I picking unhealthy foods, or I was trying to soothe my emotions by going out to eat, like that'll make me happy, let's just go to a restaurant or whatever. Like that's the worst thing, obviously, that you can do on a regular basis is eat out, especially fast food. And so I was kind of maintaining this, you know, weight loss because I didn't go crazy overboard doing that, but I did it more frequently than I needed to or should have. And so I'm working on some things, you know, within myself. I'm recognizing things. And this week particularly was one of those tough weeks for me. Week 2 on Nutrisystem has been in a very emotional week. And last night specifically, I was struggling through some emotional things, and I was journaling. And I found, like, in the middle of my journaling, I stopped, and I was so overwhelmed and frustrated at situations within myself. I just wanted to eat, and I wasn't even hungry, but I heard that little familiar voice inside saying, like, you need to go eat something that you shouldn't eat. You'll feel better. Just do it. And I stopped. I heard that voice. I know it sounds a little crazy. You hear voices in your head, but you know, you hear them too. Okay. You hear yourself talking. But I heard that voice and I thought, oh my gosh, like, I still am really struggling with this, because before I was on Nutrisystem, I would just go grab whatever unhealthy thing that I felt like would make me happy in the moment, whether that was scarfing down a half a bag of chips or a whole bag of popcorn, or going and finding some ice cream and eating a bowl of that. Whatever it was, I would go to food to fill this unhappy feeling or the stressed out feeling that I was carrying around inside. And I definitely don't have it all figured out in life, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm working through things, I'm growing. And I hope that if you guys follow me, you don't expect me to be perfect either, because it's not going to happen. I'm just not perfect, and I don't think anybody is. But being on Nutrisystem stops me from going and emotionally eating, because I am sticking to this plan that I said I'm going to do, you know? So Nutrisystem, you can only eat XYZ, and you don't just go grab a half a bag of Doritos when you feel like it. And that's what I wanted to do last night. So week 2 has been difficult, because there have been times where I said yes to that craving to just fill that void that I feel, or fill that emotion that I feel inside with food, where I've eaten things I shouldn't have eaten this week. And in doing that, I only lost a whole pound this week. Now, that's okay. A whole pound is great, because healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week. But I could have avoided that if I had not eaten those extra calories along the way this week, struggling to just keep myself on course and eating only the program, eating only the planned foods that I've been given through Nutrisystem. So taking away all the pacifiers in life, so to speak, with Nutrisystem gives me a much like clearer vision of how I'm doing mentally. So I know if I'm battling emotional things and I'm still wanting to go to food, that I haven't quite healed that area that I need to heal, where instead of running to food, I run to God, my only true source of fuel, and my only true source to fill that void in my heart, and to fill that void that I'm just struggling to deal with, whatever it is. And instead of running to that pacifier, it's like I've taken the crutch away. I'll stop calling it a passy. I have a toddler at home, so I tend to think like toddler level right now. But I take the crutch away, and now I'm left with what? When I go to fall, you know, I don't have that anymore. I need something else to cushion me. And what I was doing was unhealthy, and now I'm having to force myself to go find healthier ways to cope. And I'm doing a summer coach collab series with a health and life coach, and later on in the summer we're going to be talking about coping mechanisms. And actually we filmed those a few weeks before you guys are going to see them because of our schedule, so it just works out better that way for us. And as we were doing that video recently, I was even thinking, okay, I have to put these healthy coping mechanisms in place for myself even more than I was before. And I was doing some of that before, but I have to do it even more so now, because I need to get healthy and remove that emotional eating issue from my life, and use food as fuel, not as a source of comfort. So anyways, that's what I've learned this week. And it's, you know, it's not fun to say that I still deal with that. I am actually ticked off that I still deal with that. I thought I would be over that hill already, but I'm not. And I also really feel the need to say this really quickly. You know, you guys that are following me for Nutrisystem, or if you found me from some other source and you just started following me, my heart is for growth in all people, especially women. I really love to encourage and reach out and just lift other women up. I think we should be that for one another. I've started doing this summer coach collab series with my friend Sarah, and she's just an amazing woman. If you guys have already caught the videos that I've put out so far this summer that we've already done for you, you'll see her heart, and her heart is phenomenal. I've had a little bit of backlash from that actually, and it's been frustrating. and not from everyone. Some people have been greatly encouraged by her, but I just want to share with you a little bit of some of my heart about that specifically. Sarah is not exactly 120 pounds, but she's a health and life coach, or she is on a weight loss journey of her own. Sarah started health and life coach training 180 pounds overweight, and she's lost 80 pounds of that weight so far. She's still got 100 more to lose, but she's lost 80. So I've had some people, one particular really mean guy, say some awful things underneath one of our videos. It really hurt my heart because all I could think to myself was like, would you talk to your daughter, your mother, your sister that way? And you don't know her. And I mean, you don't know me, right? Like, I would love to know you, but this is the internet. Like, I'm just sharing with you a moment of my life, but you and I don't get to sit and have coffee on my couch every day, although that would be great. Sarah is on her way. She's healing. She's growing. She's not arrived, but she's a health and life coach so that she can reach back and help somebody else overcome some of the things that she too is and has overcome and is still working to overcome certain things. She has an eating disorder and she is in the process of overcoming that and working through that. And I don't think that we should fault somebody based on their appearance for trying to grow and trying to just reach back and grab somebody else and pull them alongside of them and say, you can do it too, come on. That's what coaches do. All a coach is really a glorified encourager. Truly, that's all they are. And Sarah is phenomenal. Went through certification training, paid a lot of money to be a certified health and life coach. And I know that she's not 120 pounds. Pretty sure she knows that too, but she's working towards getting to her healthy weight goal. She's not gonna just wait till she gets there before she starts reaching out and helping those around her. So you can only help somebody get to the place where you've arrived. I completely agree with that. There's only so far you can take somebody if you haven't walked in those steps yet. Like, you can't tell someone how to get somewhere if you've never been there. And she knows that. So Sarah is working towards a goal, but she has been somewhere. She's achieved an 80-pound weight loss. That's a huge amount of weight to have lost, especially overcoming an eating disorder in the process. So I'm really proud of her. I'm so honored to have her on my channel, just talking with her and hearing her heart about different things having to do with, weight loss and health and life in general, and just mental health even. We talk a lot about that because I'm a certified mental health coach and I love to help people through mental hurdles because I'm constantly going through them. So we can help somebody in our area of weakness if we're growing in that area as well. And there's nothing wrong with not having arrived somewhere in order to help. So I hope that this clears the air a little bit with some of you who may be following me and watching that Summer Coach Collab series with us this summer. And it's going to go all the way through August. I'm so excited about that. And then I'm going to have another friend we're going to be doing some other interviews and chats with that she's going to be on with me sometime in the fall. And this is what it's all about, is just encouraging one another. So enough about that. I'm going to go and show you guys how week 2 is different than week 1, and also just so you have something to look forward to next week in week 3, I'm going to actually walk you through what I eat in a week, like showing you what I eat in a week. So real quick before we go and dive into all of that, let me just ask you, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, just go ahead and do that. If you've been waiting, you've been hanging out, you've been following me for a while and you just haven't clicked that button yet for some reason, do it. It's free. It costs you nothing. And you guys can hang out with me and get healthy from the inside out and at least learn something from some of my mistakes in this life. And if you want to be notified every time I upload new content, just click the notification bell and YouTube will just send that out to you right away in your notifications. So you can go, oh, okay, she's uploaded a new video, because this summer I'm definitely uploading a lot more than I normally do. I usually just upload once a week, but I am putting new content out there for you guys right now twice a week. And sometimes I'll be doing just random live videos for you. So you'll want to be notified when those are happening if you're interested in my journey, what's going on with our Summer Coach Collab series and with Nutrisystem, and just hang out with me and get to know me. I really love interacting with you guys in the comment section as well. That's so much fun for me. Okay, so let's go ahead inside. I'm going to show you what week 2 looks like. All right, so week number 2, you're going to read this quick start guide. It says read me second. So there you go. Not too hard to figure out. If you haven't downloaded the NOOM app, definitely go ahead and do that now, because you'll benefit from using that greatly. And if you guys haven't seen how to or why you would use new me, just go check out the video that you'll see pop up somewhere on the top of the screen right here. And then you can see it also in my Nutrisystem playlist. And on new me, you can get a grocery guide, which is going to list out all your power fuels and your smart carbs and your vegetables, and your free foods and extras also will be listed in there as well. All right, so your second week, you're going to start working out. Do that 10 minutes 3 times a day, 7 days a week, and you're going to have 210 minutes of exercise every week. So you guys can do more obviously or less, and you can do 30 minutes at one time if it works out better for you, but just try to work out 30 minutes a day. At least take a good walk where you're getting your heart rate up. So here's your second week on Nutrisystem, and you're going to get to eat all of this plus lose weight. I do feel full when I eat what I'm supposed to be eating all the time on Nutrisystem. So if you're eating what you're supposed to eat, you're going to feel full. And some of you may feel like eating this many times a day is too much, but it really isn't. If you're eating small frequent meals, it's actually really good for your metabolism. This is just going to go through what each thing is here, what a power fuel is, what a smart carb is, what your vegetables, what your extras, what your free foods. So eventually I'm going to do a video on exactly what a power fuel and a smart carb is for you, but for the sake of time, we're just going to go through what your day looks like on Nutrisystem for week 2 versus Nutrisystem week 1. So in week 2, you are going to be having breakfast, and the big difference here is you're going to add in a power fuel. So week 1, you don't have a power fuel for breakfast. You're only eating this Nutrisystem breakfast. But week 2, you're going to add in a power fuel. So go in your NOOM app, go to your grocery guide, look up power fuel and find one that you like and go with that. So it's usually between 80 and 110 calories, okay? And then 2 to 3 hours later, you're going to have a morning snack. Now, the morning snack before on week 1 was that belly busting shake that comes in your first 7 days. But this time now you're going to be eating some kind of power fuel on your own. I usually go with something super quick like a string cheese. So then for lunch, 2 to 3 hours later, you're going to have a Nutrisystem entree. And again, I add 2 servings of vegetables with my lunch all the time. That just helps because you're supposed to eat a minimum of 4. And then 2 to 3 hours later, here's another really big difference between week 1 and 2. Week 1, you were eating a Nutrisystem snack, but you're not going to be doing that anymore. Week 2, you're going to be eating an afternoon snack that you're going to come up with on your own that's going to consist of a power fuel and a smart carb combination. So there's lots of different things that you can do. I've done a couple of videos showing you some combinations that I like of power fuels and smart carbs. You guys can go check those out in the Nutrisystem playlist as well. And they just give you an option for a string cheese and a cup of berries. And then 2 to 3 hours later, grab a Nutrisystem dinner and then pair that with some vegetables. I like to use frozen vegetables, and if you guys haven't seen the video where I talk about making Nutrisystem delicious, you can see how to pair a whole bag of vegetables with your dinner so that you have a lot more. If you're like me, dinner was like my biggest meal of the day always. So having a Nutrisystem tiny dinner was a little bit of a shock. And then here's the other big difference is that evening snack 2 to 3 hours later. Before in week 1, you were not having a snack. After dinner, you were done. You were eating 5 times and then you were done. Now you're going to be eating 6 times. So you're going to have that evening snack right here, which is a Nutrisystem snack. So you eat that 2 to 3 hours later and you're done for the day. But that's the major differences between week 1 and week 2. You're going to be eating 6 times a day. You're going to be adding in your own power fuels and smart carbs for your afternoon and your morning snack. And then you're going to add in a power fuel at breakfast. So you're doing a little bit of adding, and this does not have to be expensive. It doesn't cost me a lot to get a couple tubs of yogurt, some cottage cheese, string cheese, some hummus, just some basic things that I already have in my house for my kids to enjoy anyway. I just use them as well. So I hope that helps you guys figure out what's the difference really between week 1 and week 2. You know, it is a little bit of a learning curve, like, oh, I have to remember to add a power fuel for my breakfast because you haven't been doing that already. And that's why I don't exactly know why they do it the way that they do it, where they have you eat such a low calorie amount the first week and then you're adding in like all these little things the second week on. Like, so it's going to be this way until you're done using Nutrisystem. The calorie count is going to go up for women to about 1,200 calories. And that's pretty much the magic number for me to lose weight. It's not always the magic number for everybody, but it is my number. And when I eat 1,200 calories a week, if I just eat that, if I'm not eating a bunch over that, I lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. So it's definitely been a slower go so far than it was the first time I did Nutrisystem. But I think that's just because my body's kind of semi-used to eating healthier. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Stay tuned next week. We're going to be going through what I eat in a week on Nutrisystem so you can see the power fuels, the smart carbs, all that kind of stuff. And then in a couple weeks, I'll do another video for you guys explaining smart carbs and power fuels again. So thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Have a great week. Bye.